Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and I just got back from the new film, The Lego Movie. Lord Business, who is voiced by Will Ferrell, who has taken over the Lego universe with the threat of the Kraken, and they have to wait for the special who will come and save them all from Lord Business. And then Emmett finds the special piece that will stop the Kraken. No, it will stop the Crackle, sorry. It will stop the Crackle. I can't get the name right. He finds a special piece and becomes friends and has a crush on this girl Wildstyle, who's voiced by Elizabeth Banks. Emmett is voiced by Chris Pratt, and Batman, voiced by Will Arnett, and a huge pirate who built himself out of various pieces, voiced by Nick Offerman, and they have to go and stop Lord Business from using the Grackle on everything and freezing everyone in place and have free will under his own strict control. The Lego Movie is directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who recently directed 21 Jump Street and are actually the showrunners and the creators of Clone High. I like their style because it not only is obviously very planned out like most animation is, but they're also able to incorporate a lot of what's been happening now with improv comedy. Those are two things that never are a really good marriage together, but they always seem to get it to work incredibly well, like those two styles should have always been together in the first place. And they do that just as well as in the Lego Movie as they did in 21 Jump Street. And especially because a lot of this humor, I mean, this is a film for children effectively, I guess, and a lot of the humor doesn't feel like kid humor, it just feels like good humor. They're just that good at it. It almost reminds me of what's going on with kids cartoons like Cartoon Network and even Disney Channel with things like Gravity Falls, Regular Show, Adventure Time, and Wander Over Yonder, where they're definitely like kid shows, but they really show a real dedication to the craft and this feeling that anything is possible. And that's something in animation. I don't mean to get too Tiny Toons on anybody or anything, but the fun thing about animation is you can do anything if you would like to. You don't have to be held back the way live action film does. This is a computer animated film. They use some stop motion, but most of the computer animation is used to make it look like stop motion. Actually, they tried to make it look like stop motion. So I can understand why there's been some confusion over how they exactly did this, but they really tried to make it look like it was stop motion. I think they succeeded because a lot of parts I thought really looked like stop motion, but I don't know which parts are and which parts aren't. Even the explosions were Legos, the water were water Legos and things like that. I like that kind of style to it, and it has kind of a fun pace to it, even though it's very plotted out, constructed film that they spent a long time and had massive storyboards. It feels like anything can happen during it. It doesn't feel so labored over. I think one of the things I don't like about feature animation, and feature animation is the only format that I feel like television animation is so much more free and fun than feature animation is, especially right now. I think it definitely has the edge. I'm usually more of a movie over TV person, but with that I actually think TV animation has the edge, and I think that's because it has the freer feel of animation, and it's a fun, joyous thing to watch. Watch someone just throw all these crazy things at the wall and actually have them work, and you can tell they threw all those things at the wall and knew exactly precisely which one would work, and there's real art to that. And I enjoy most animated films, and I love things like a Wreck-It Ralph and the Despicable Me films and even Frozen, but this feels like something new and wholly original in a lot of ways. It feels like so free to do exactly what it wants. It's not tied down by having to do like a Pixar format or a Disney Princess format. Phil Lord and Chris Miller, all their films really feel like that. Like I never exactly know what's coming, but they're always really funny. Like 21 Jump Street and Clone High, I still quote and think about jokes from both of those because it's so memorable, but they're both very cartoony and in the best sense of that. They also have some really good satire in this film. In fact, such good satire, it almost reminded me of Verhoeven. There's a TV show they all watch that Lord Business presents to all of them, that Where Is My Pants, I believe it's called. And it kind of reminded me of RoboCop when they had I'd Buy That for $1. It was very Verhoeven-y. I wouldn't be surprised if Verhoeven was a huge influence on them, because as much as it is a corporate film, they're still kind of satirizing corporate control, and they're satirizing the corporate machine. Emmett's wall is a poster for a popular band, and he likes the song everyone likes. It's called Everything Is Awesome. Really, a lot of this movie is about individuality, and I know a lot of animated films are like, you're special, you're a special person. Everyone's a beautiful and unique stupid snowflake or whatever. And no film has actually been able to do that without seeming corny as the Lego Movie did, which is kind of surprising because it has such a satirical edge, but then then it actually succeeds in trying to get across the idea that all the big corporate, more serious, I guess, less satirical animated movies do. It's kind of amazing all of the things it can accomplishes in this film. Now, it's still a big corporate movie. I mean, that's the thing about it. As much as it satirizes big corporations and it's, you know, having a lot of fun with everything, and you're surprised a big animated movie can do this, it's more of a big corporate movie than even the Disney stuff is, because it's the Lego movie. You know, it's a movie about Legos. It's everyone's worst fear. But does that matter if the film is entertaining? If everything is awesome, does it really matter that what this is based on isn't so wholly original? And part of me wants to go, everything is awesome and let's end the argument. But I think the thing is film is a medium that has had films based on so many things, whether it's vaudeville or novels or comic books or TV shows or video games. In the end, it doesn't matter what anything's based on. It just matters, like, is the movie good in the end? And I think the Lego movie is a really good animated film. And when I was coming home, I was thinking about, well, have I had that much fun with an animated film? I had as much fun as this as I think a lot of kids will. The jokes land just as well for adults as they do for kids. You know, there's none of this stupid Shrek crap where it's like totally goes over all the kids' heads, but all the dads are laughing. There's nothing like that. It's very universal in its humor. I love how crazy and loud and colorful it is. One of the things, and I think people forget that, especially at my age when everyone acts very pretentious and everything about film, is that when I was a kid, I watched movies because they were fun. And this movie is a lot of fun. For a film to take your kids to, it has such a free spirit. It's so much fun, but then it even surprises you with how free of a spirit and what it will do. And there's some sequences in this that are just absolutely amazing. I mean, there was a scene, the first action sequence in the film where Emmett is first going around with Wildstyle. A house drops in front of him off of a pickup truck and he drives through a house. It's thrilling if you don't even think about it, that suddenly he's driving through a house and then he's back to the chase. It just feels like they throw anything at it, but in such an amazing, like, trippy, even a Fleischer way a little bit. Seeing them have as much fun as they can have in a big budget animated film, and one that's as crazy of an idea as the Lego movie is, just hearing the idea of a Lego movie would kind of make you shudder in fear and think about how evil and wholly corporate that is. But then when you have two directors like Phil Lord and Chris Miller, they realize the fun and the opportunity they can have with it. The animation style and the writing and the jokes and just the spirit of it was just such a fun film to watch. Maybe in the end, I do think kind of everything is awesome, because I'm just kind of sitting there like, you know what? This movie's so good that it just makes me think, you know, everything is awesome, and I'm kind of fine with that. So if you have seen the Lego movie and you would like to talk about it, then comment below in the comments and subscribe if you would like to. See ya, guys. Everything is awesome.